Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Ali, and today I'm going to be discussing a poem. It's called "The Idea of Order at Key West" by Wallace Stevens. This poem, basically, to like summarize what's going on in the poem, is basically there's a woman, and we are not given her name, but what we do know is there is a woman, and she is singing along a beautiful beach, and just singing a song, and there's someone kind of witnessing her, and we're not given the exact like lyrics of the song. Basically, the person who is observing her learns a lot about life, about creativity, imagination, just a bunch of different things that they can learn, that they learn from observing the woman. And I want to kind of break down the poem into about four different things to kind of help explain it and share more details about it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is talk about the setting of the poem. So, like I had just mentioned, the setting is a beach. A woman is singing a beautiful song by the beach. We're also told that there's boats in the water. At nighttime, we can see the lights from the boats and all the beautiful waves and the rocks and things like that. I wanted to kind of show you an image. So I have a picture. I know they don't look great on this camera, but I have a picture of the ocean right here. This is actually Siesta Key Beach. I live in the Bradenton, Sarasota area, and I've lived here my whole life, and this beach is actually like 30 minutes from my house. So this is actually Siesta Key Beach at sunrise, and I also included a picture of a boat. Through a certain part of the poem, we are informed that the viewer can see a boat as well as the beach. So that is really the setting and where this poem takes place is on a beach. The next thing that I wanted to kind of go into is there's three main symbols in this poem, and all of these symbols describe different things beyond the actual symbols. So the first symbol is the woman. She, all we know her by is the name she. But she really symbolizes creativity as well as imagination. She really uses the ocean as like a backdrop in a way to inspire her and inspire her music. So she really represents like a force that uses creativity, imagination, and kind of looks at life from beyond just the standard point that you would, think. So the next symbol is the water, obviously. The water is really kind of a metaphor for the singer's inspiration. In really the beginning of the poem, the ocean is kind of really the main thing that the singer uses to inspire her song. But more towards the end of the poem, we really see that her perception of the sea and nature is really heavily influenced by her song. It actually flips. So the song is really, what becomes helps her song is really what helps influence her view on the ocean and on nature. And the third one would be, of course, her song. Her song is a product of her creativity, her inspiration. And another funny thing is that when you really think about it, a song is really just a poem that is sung, and we're reading a poem. So I'm talking about the poem, and the song, which is like really the key part of the poem, is actually a poem that is sung, which is something that is kind of funny that I just noticed. So I just want to show some visuals for those things. This is a picture I found of just a beautiful woman on the beach having a good time. You can picture her singing. Then I just wanted to show just a picture of musical notes to just represent the song. And lastly, I wanted to show, the ocean. So I already showed you guys a picture of the ocean, just to show you again. So three symbols that represent different meanings is the woman, the song, and the beach. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the final image. So in the poem, I actually have the poem right here. In the poem, I would say like the last two paragraphs, it really mentions a fishing boat. So It says, "Why, when the singing ended and we turned toward the town, tell why the glassy lights, the lights in the fishing boats at anchor there, as the night descended, titillating in the air, mastered the night and portioned out the sea." So I actually wanted to show an image of a boat at night. You can see the lights. I don't know how well you can see it through the camera, but you can see a boat and you can see the lights and it's nighttime. So the last two paragraphs really represent that. So I wanted to show that image. And then probably one of the most important parts of the poem is really the tone. Now this poem is definitely very intricate and it can be kind of hard to understand. I had to read this poem like many times to really understand the tone and the meaning. But what I took away from it is I see the tone as being kind of like calming, meditative. The tone is kind of like looking at wonder and creativity. So, especially in the beginning of the poem, because when you really read like the first line, um, you know, she's saying beyond the genius of the sea, the water never forms a mind or voice, like a body holy, body fluttering. Um, basically it kind of just, the theme of it is when you picture the ocean and the tone, it just seems kind of like, calming. Like the ocean is definitely very calming for a lot of people. So, in the fact that the poem really revolves around the ocean, it really kind of helps describe and you can kind of help picture how calming it makes you feel. Even reading about the ocean, even reading the poem can kind of like calm a person down and make you feel more calm and more, meditative and happy. So I really kind of look at the tone of the poem as being calming and almost like therapeutic in a way, mainly because, the ocean is really calming and therapeutic. And I also believe that because of the way that the author really describes the ocean and uses the words. And I just really look at the tone as being something that is calming and meditative. And when I read the poem, it kind of brings me into a place of like happiness. So that's really how I view the tone of the poem. So yeah, so I really hope that this video helps you understand more of the poem and the theme. And another quick, going back to the tone, I kind of have pictures here of, I'm going to show them. These are kind of funny. I have like pictures of emojis. This picture is kind of like Zen. It's like a very Zen feeling. So the emoji kind of like helps represent how I felt when I was reading the poem and how I feel the tone of the poem is. And then I have a picture of another emoji. They're just kind of smiling. They look happy. They look really chilled out. So when I read it, I'm very calm and I really feel like the tone and what the author wanted to describe was just kind of making it calming and making you feel at home and peaceful. So I definitely recommend checking out this poem. I think it's a great poem. It really helps people kind of, get in touch with art, creativity, their imagination. And I think the poem is really great and I definitely think it's a must read. So that's it. And I hope you guys have a great night.